Hello, people. It's good to see you again. How have you been? Oh, is that right? You've been great? Terrible? I don't know, because I can't fucking hear you. That's fine. You can watch me now, because I've decided to use a camera. Is this what YouTube likes? They like to see people talking. Does this feel more personal to you? I hope so, because we're doing this now. If this is your first time watching my channel, welcome. Take a seat, maybe grab a drink, fix your posture, because I see you shrimp moding in your chair, or don't, because I'm not your fucking mom. Anyways, thanks for coming over, and let's just dig right into the meat and potatoes of this video. So, in getting into the nitty-gritty, I faked my belief for years. And I think this sort of ties into why I have made these videos when I was little. And I don't mean that little, like not 5, 6 years old. It was later. It must have been like 15 or 16. Well, I had been on YouTube and I was starting to really think those cogwheels were spinning, and I was asking questions. And one day I made a Facebook post, and I'm bisexual, like no secret, right? And most people can tell, right? At least they could, but I would deny it because it was, sinful. But I would pose the question. I was like, if God loves all of his children and we are all created in his image, why does God create people knowing they're going to burn in hell? And I made a Facebook post, and one of these kids from high school, he said, "You sound a lot more like an agnostic than a Christian." So my mind started spinning, and eventually I started looking into that. And then I found atheist channels that were talking about things. And for once in my life, something, like, I was finally able to start making sense of the noise. Like, the world wasn't as confusing as it originally was when I was brought into it growing up. But I got a lot of flack for it. And so that's where things really started to shift for me, because I knew very early on that I wasn't normal, okay? And to be told that the way your own body works is a choice. Is it a choice to breathe? No, it comes naturally. You do it because you have to, because you are, because you're a living, breathing organism. So, I guess I was normal. I was just told that I wasn't. Being lesbian, bisexual, gay, whatever the fuck, whatever label you want to slap on it. You're just being human. But that was like one of the big things I knew I couldn't change about myself. So there's a lot of people, maybe they don't have to face that sort of question about their identity and who they are as a person and what they're drawn to. And so they cannot comprehend what it's like to go through that. And so for them, it's status quo. And it's like they can just clasp their hands together and, get on their knees and pray, and everything is normal and they can just fit in. And, that's great for them. But for people that don't fit into their mold, it's a totally different experience. And it's like if somebody said, "You are suddenly straighter than a fucking square." No, I'm not. And I wasn't going to lie to myself and tell myself that I was. I knew damn well I wasn't. And people tell you how your own body works. It's so backhanded. And so I wrangled with it for years, trying to force myself to believe something that was fundamentally opposed to my very existence. It's not fair. You lose a lot of years of your life that you're never going to get back. It is what it is. And for this video, This is where I'm reaching like the core of what this is about, where I was cosplaying as a Christian. And it was pretty easy. I was pretty good at it too. Like bowing my head. You say your little prayer. Make your little feel good. Get your warm, fuzzy feeling at the pit of your stomach that you cling to. It was easy because I was surrounded by people that also did it. It was like an echo chamber. It reaffirmed this belief that even if I didn't really believe it, or just in the back of my head made no fucking sense, that it just was easy to pretend. I almost fooled myself until someone reminded me that it's okay to not believe. But before I came to that full conclusion where I am the person that I am today, I tried to it was still so hard to not cling to the idea that there was more out there. Like, I tried to find other beliefs. Ghosts are real. Maybe let's look at Wicca or paganism, or, you know, because I called myself an agnostic. I'm like, I'm not saying there isn't a God. So, because like, I wanted to try and be diplomatic about it. Like, I didn't want to, like, you know, be that atheist. Like, there is no God. Like, of course. Like, you know, and then they're like, oh, prove it. I'm like, well, you can't prove a negative. It's like asking me to disprove the existence of the tooth fairy, but whatever. We're not getting into all that. So I tried to like mentally experiment with different belief systems, but really none of it did anything for me. But it was really hard to let go. It was really fucking hard. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done, because you're cutting yourself off from so much, from so many people. I also just realized, looking over some of this footage that I've been recording, you want to play a fun drinking game or just die from alcohol poisoning, take a shot every time I blink my fucking eyes. Damn, like I'm blinking a lot. Is that like a sign of nervousness or something? I don't feel that nervous. Whatever. Back to the point. So I was coming to terms with the fact that I really didn't believe in anything, like anything spiritual or crazy. I don't even believe in astrology. I sure as fuck don't believe in witchcraft or heaven, hell, or anything. Though, to be fair, I've never met a pagan that was a bigot. So, yeah. Okay, there might have been one I saw on YouTube. He was a real can of worms, but I don't know. It's a small religion too. They're a lot smaller, so a bit harder to encounter. But every self-proclaimed witch I've ever met was one of the sweetest people I've ever met. But yeah, whatever. Not the point. And I remember there was a lot of people that I've seen online, and some people I've met in person, that say when they begin to lose their faith, it feels like a spark was lost. They feel grief. I waited for that grief. Once I accepted that socially, I just wasn't going to be accepted. And I had to be okay with that. That grief never materialized. Instead, what did was this profound sense of freedom. A sense of freedom I have never felt in my life since once I learned to just be. For a long while, I just didn't want to look broken to people. So that's when I was exploring and entertaining different beliefs, because when people come up and ask you, it's like, what do you believe? What do you practice? And then I have to say, nothing. I don't have some grand thing I'm all about. I mean, I have my beliefs, very strong beliefs. I'm very opinionated, but spiritually, like a lot of people have spiritual beliefs one way or another. At least they say they do. And I had to accept that I was, someone that didn't. Turns out You don't need the universe to have a plan for you, to have a plan for your life once you start living your life. And if anything I've said here resonates with you, if you feel broken, you're not broken. You're just finding yourself out. And that's okay. It's okay to stop pretending. Because you think you're going to be cut out of the crowd. You don't need to be part of the crowd to live your life. You never did, despite what they told you. It kind of reminds me of the other day when one of my friends, she came up to me and she said, I'm not really into this whole religion thing. I'm not sure how my parents will think when I tell them. And I said, stop feeling like you're broken, because you're not. You need support. And that's what people need, is a support network. But then you have evangelicals. They will tell you that your support are just demons because they've been trained to. They're being good little boys and girls doing what they've been told by their preacher, rabbi, whatever the fuck is the Muslim equivalent. I don't even know what it's called. Maybe someone leave a comment and tell me, educate me on that. Not that it fucking matters. Anyways. But yeah. People don't have to apologize for being themselves. Life is about discovery. And it's about evolving. Because stagnation is the death of us. And we should never strive to be stagnant. We should always be asking the questions that matter. So yeah, if you got something out of this video, thanks for watching. If you didn't, doesn't really matter. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I appreciate it. Helps the algorithm. Generic YouTuber stuff, like, comment, subscribe, maybe, or don't. Doesn't really matter. Because I have no intentions of leaving. So, I'll see you in the next one. It's on earth to say